Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in to my latest video in relation to how to program the SIMOCODE station. This particular video is going to be based around how to use the power factor function which is integrated into the SIMOCODE station. So I want to explain a little bit about why you might use it and also how to implement it in your code. I'm going to just start with the base and assume you've already got the DOL and the reverser in configuration in. If you haven't, please go back to one of my other videos and follow that through and then have a look at this example. So in the majority of applications, the power factor, it typically fluctuates more than the actual motor current, and that's works particularly favorable with the lower end performance range of motors. And for that reason, the monitoring of the power factor comes into consideration to detect faults. So an example of a fault that it might detect is the breakage of a drive belt or even a drive shaft. And the other thing about monitoring the power factor is that if you have a motor which is operating below the threshold of what you would deem unfit, it actually creates a massive energy loss within the motor. So if you are monitoring power factor of the motor and you set a lower threshold on it, it would tell you when the motor is acting uncharacteristically in relation to the power factor and not acting as efficiently as it should. So what I'll do now is I'll show you how to use it. So if you go into the control station, which is here, and drop that down and go into the parameters, it's actually under machine monitoring capabilities. We can drop that menu down further and we can then go into COSFI, which is the power factor. And in here we can set a bit like how we could set the current limits, but except this is specifically for a lower limit. You can set percentages. So you have a trip level and how it reacts to that trip level. And then you can also have a delay on that trip level. So you might want to delay if the power factor fluctuates significantly and spikes. You don't want any nuisance tripping, you'd put a delay on there. Similarly, with the warning level, you get to put in a percentage of what level you want the device to display a warning and how it reacts to that, whether that be through a signal or a warning. And you can also put a delay on that as well. So for this example, what we'll do is we'll set the trip level at 85. We want it to trip out at that level. And then we want a delay on that, and we want a warning level at 98%, and then we want it to give us a warning sign. So now we've configured that and we've got a delay on the warning light. We can then download that into the SIMOCODE station. Once that's finished downloading, we can then start to test the circuit out to see whether it's actually worked. So we've done that now. We can go into commissioning, go into go online. Once we're online, this blue bar will turn orange. And then we can use the functions tabs, measured values and warnings. So we're now in the online mode. We can use the measured values to display what we're actually seeing here in terms of the power factor, but we can also see the warnings, and we can see the fault if it does go into fault. So let's have a little look at that now, and we'll engage the motor. So in this example, I have got my laptop connected up to a SIMOCODE station, so we can simulate the effects of this monitoring function. So let's turn the motor on. So at the moment the power factor is at 85%. So if we have a little look in here, we should see a group warning. As you can see, it's below the 98% that we've assigned. So that means that it's going to display a group warning, but if we go into faults and it drops below that number, we should then get a trip. So let's have a little look. So we'll turn this down now past that 85% and see what happens. As you can see, the device has now stopped. The motor's tripped out, and we'll go into warnings. There are no warnings now. We've gone into the upper threshold of faults, and it's tripped out due to the power factor going below the threshold which we set in the parameters. So as you can see, the power factor function is a great tool to have. And yeah, hopefully you've got something from the video. Please stay tuned for more. Thank you.